and what we've learned, we wanted to be able to share that with you so that you too could build first your principal residence if you don't own, and then add to that by having, additional
Income.
properties that you can use to build wealth for yourself and your next generation of children. So I did skip this, but it's really important how you see yourself, which is why we start with mindset. It's sort of how you think, and I mean, we won't always have the most utmost and positive mindset every single day. I know many days this week, life challenges, you and I both, we have bad days and good days, or challenging experiences that make it sometimes hard to sort of feel great. But the goal is to not let those experiences direct your life, and make it a major part of what you do each and every day, especially in real estate, because in real estate, it is very challenging. I think that Kemba and I can agree that, when we started in real estate, women, we don't see as many women. It's not as dominant with women, it's mostly men. And so we definitely are a minority in the real estate community as investors. And so, we don't absolutely allow that to hold us back, but we use it as a motivator and a fuel to push us forward and to continuously do well. I mean, Kemba and I, we always joke about the fact that it's principally she and I in our household managing the assets and buying the properties. However, as soon as our husbands' names are put on the mortgages, our names get shifted. They don't even call to speak to Kemba or I. They usually call to ask for Dean or Michael. And I'm like, yeah, good luck with that, because Dean doesn't usually want to speak to anyone regarding the mortgages or taxes or any of those matters. So, but we don't allow those things to affect us, right? Because our esteem is really important to protect, and the attitude that we hold towards even the banks, we don't hate on them for those things. We just understand that the world, the way it's positioned, men is first in terms of superiority, and even in terms of color, we don't end up falling again at the top, right? So continuing, Kemba, let's look at what we mean by mindset and how we can build and help each other, not just through our own experiences, but usually we recommend doing reading, right? And so to build the right mindset, you have to continuously learn and grow as a person. You have to use the people and the community around you. If the people around you are negative and telling you, don't do this, don't do that. Oh yeah, that's, I've heard really bad things about being an owner and a landlord or buying properties. Those aren't the people that you want to associate with. You want to make sure that you're associating with. And that's why we built the Facebook community, and we have come together, and we've consistently shown people that our business is largely built and founded on family, right? Working together. And I think that when we take that approach, we'll absolutely be more successful, because when I fail at something, it's likely that Kemba and or my partners or other individuals that I work with have had positive and better experiences, so that they can help me get through that difficult experience. And I've always thought, and I think that some of us, especially when we discuss the growth mindset shortly, if you take a problem solver approach, and you know that there is, even though maybe today in the moment in this experience you can't see the solution, but you take that problem solver approach, you're more likely to seek solutions when you're in difficult times or difficult experiences, and just live, especially if you're going to build real estate assets, live with that mindset and that concept that there is a solution. Okay, you may not see it right now, but you can after talking to others, or giving yourself some time to reflect on it. I think that absolutely in real estate, taking risk is essential. I think in life, taking risk is essential to be successful, which means that you're going to fail sometimes, which means that you're going to sometimes have really bad experiences. You're going to lose. Maybe some experiences will lead to a immediate positive solution. It may mean that you have to reassess and come back, and because adversity is absolutely going to happen. And I don't think that anyone that has been very successful in life, and I think if you think of the stories of people like Oprah, even like from time, people, Einstein and others, you'll know that they have all endured some form of challenges in order to become the success that they have. So maybe, Kemba, I think the next slide kind of just adds to this. Okay, it was the slide before, that's fine. What's holding you back? Usually what's holding you back are these things. I mean, I think in order for me to get to a book at night, if I have to leave and allot enough time to read. Otherwise, by the end of the night, if I focused on just accomplishing all my work and tasks, I'm exhausted and tired by the time it's bedtime. So it's time usually that holds us back from accomplishing, getting to the gym, right? Focusing on maybe even your goals that you set, because sometimes your goals are not your priority each day and each week and month. It's often the tasks at hand, getting to jobs, getting to children, right? And so you have to make sure that you've left time and the capacity, resources. We all have resources. Sometimes we don't even know that they're there. Kemba mentioned at the outset there when we talked about the fact that you may struggle with coming up with the deposits. And we know that there are government programs out there that can give you the funding and help you with the funding to make it possible. So resources, you just have to, figure out what it is that you need to do yourself and who else along the way can help you to accomplish these goals. Because I don't think that we can create more time. We just have to carve out and map out the time. And then, of course, the things that we can often control and the things that we can do, we can control our motivation, our inspiration. I usually look to the people around me, the books that I read for motivation and inspiration. And then the methods, absolutely, again, if I didn't know how to do something, I turned to a library, I turned to a book, I turned to someone who is experienced, a coach, a mentor, someone who can help me accomplish that. So Kemba, continuing on, let's look at, I think that I've spoken to some of these. I don't think that you can think of anyone that has been successful and they haven't had a struggle. It's, when we think of the stories of major players like Walt Disney, Einstein, Bill Gates, as I said, Oprah, even, there goes a call. Even just people in our own lives, not all these big names, but just, sometimes our parents, our families, they themselves have had, they've struggled to either, come to this country, to bring their family, to provide for their family. So we've all had struggles and we figure out ways to overcome and be, successful. Even if success doesn't necessarily mean having, millions of dollars right? It could just mean getting through the day to day. And I think we're going to look at that shortly. So I think back to my first, and I think that stories are the best way to learn. And I remember being really much younger than 22 and wanting to buy my first property, but I had no idea how to do it. And of course, I didn't come from family that actually knew how because they had done it, right? So I had to figure it out by talking to, and I think I'd met a real estate agent who then introduced me to a mortgage broker, so that, when my family and my friends were saying, oh, Andrea, you can't do it, I absolutely didn't accept that and take on that that experience that, oh, maybe because they hadn't done it, I can't do it. I believed that I was able to do it. I just needed to find the right people that would help me do it. And I knew that I could, because even at 17, when I was trying to buy my very first car, I didn't know how to do it. And the same experience that happened at 22 when I was trying to buy my first home. I went to my bank and they said no. And so I thought, oh, okay, well, I thought that's where you would typically go, right, when you were trying to get a mortgage. But then I soon learned through my realtor that she could help me, find someone who could actually get that mortgage for me and approve and get the approval that I needed to finance my first purchase. And I think that all of you have some sort of story that is filled with challenges, and then hopefully you don't let those challenges hold you back so that you can be successful. Kemba?
Mhm.
I think I did take away some of the stories, but in thinking of what you want to accomplish and what you want to do, whether is buy your first property or you bought your first and you want to buy your next, you have to always think to who are the people in my life that inspire me, or who are the people around me in our communities in the I mean, there are so many. I'm part of Facebook groups because I find there's a lot of motivating and inspiring women, entrepreneurs, and the like in those groups, not just the big names that I sometimes read their autobiographies or their biographies to learn from, but I look to even just ordinary people that I can actually speak to and get their story, get their take, so that you can learn from them. Because I don't think that on our own it's easy to have the right mindset to and accomplish the goals that we want to. So I think it's really important for you to, not right now, but maybe on your own time, just take some time and think about who inspires you and why, and how you can maybe find some of those people in your life that you can turn to help you with, purchasing, with maybe, collaborating on how you can accomplish this if you haven't as yet, or if you've done it once, how you can repeat that.
Mhm.
Okay.
For sure. I